Hello again, everyone. It's me, Nick Michalak, and the wonderful Steve Frazier.
Well, thank you.
And we are doing a 45th anniversary commentary for 1978's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So, guys, if you own a copy of the entire film, whether a copy you have, Blu-ray, 4K, anything like that, get your subtitles turned on, turn your timestamp over to 0, and we'll sync up with a countdown and get going. So, guys, in 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, boom, United Artists, just right off the bat. A Transamerica company.
That's before they got...
It's very progressive.
Got merged with MGM after financial hardships and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, that was in the 80s, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
After they started doing movie theaters and such? You know?
Yeah, after, like, Heaven's Gate almost bankrupted one of the companies.
Oops.
Oh, well.
Little mist here, a little alien, alien goo, like little balloons. What do we got?
Well, spores, as we get to.
Sure. No, I get it. I just was curious what they,
what they were doing practically. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm watching my Scream Factory copy. Did you get the 4K on this one?
I did not.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
About 2 years ago?
I didn't. Yes.
Okay.
They directly from Kino Lorber.
Yes.
That's the one that I got. Because I did not get this one, which is the Scream Factory. So yeah, I got the 4K. And then I watched it right away. And it's fantastic. Not to say that this one looks bad, because it doesn't. I think it's interesting that these spores lived through space.
Interesting idea, yes.
Where there's no oxygen.
Right. They did burn up in an atmosphere somewhere.
Right. They made it through the barrier.
Right. Of course, I've never seen the 50s version.
I never did either.
Yeah. I'm generally aware of the broad strokes of the entire thing, just in terms of like the themes and ideas and the themes people thought the film had, but they never weren't intended themes and stuff like that.
I don't know. Like, clearly this is not the greatest scientific technical achievement.
Sure.
But when you put yourself in the mind of a teenager or something in 1978, fresh off of the Love Gun tour, you go home and the next day you and your buddies go see.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not that bad.
Yeah, because we're a little ahead of the release date in this one, because it was released right before Christmas, which is a weird release date for a film like this.
Right. I remember originally you and I were talking about presenting this commentary as an anniversary.
Right on the money.
Right, and we thought it might be a little goofy.
Weird.
Yeah, we were
off-season.
Looking at doing it last year at Christmas time. Yeah, very interesting kind of concept here that...
Yeah.
Not unlike Night of the Creeps, where...
Sure.
Shit just comes down from aliens in space and...
fucks things up.
Right, yeah. Although that one is meant to be, satirical and stupid, campy, and this is obviously serious.
Yeah.
Maybe gelatin?
Maybe a little bit of something, yeah.
Something like that? I don't know.
Phil Kaufman, before he ended up going and making The Right Stuff.
Oh, sure.
It was a big Oscar film.
Yeah. That's a great effect there.
Oh, yeah. There's some... I don't know how they do a lot of the stuff in this film, but they did extremely well.
That looks like a reverse shot, maybe.
Maybe, because you don't see there's no droplets falling or anything, so it could be either way, really.
Right, and then you just suck it back through.
Yeah.
And then reverse it.
Yeah.
That's a true ladybug, not one of those Japanese beetle things that we've been dealing with for the last however long. And who doesn't like a pretty flower?
Mm-hmm. It's nice visual storytelling. You don't have to wait an hour into a film to really kind of get an inkling of an idea. It's at least kind of visually telling you this is something from outer space, and it's kind of landing here, and it's kind of taking on an unusual sort of life here on Earth.
Right. And now they've given it a visual representation, which is the flower.
Yeah.
So that you know every time you see the flower, you know it's the bad thing.
Yeah. It's Robert Duvall.
Oh, Tom Hagen. I've never been a big Duvall guy. He's all right.
Sure. I watch Falling Down. I watch it more from Michael Douglas.
Well, right. Fun fact, Falling Down was the first DVD I ever purchased for myself.
Ghostbusters was my first. Yeah, we bought it at the same time as the DVD player. It wasn't like a packet or anything. Then shortly after, it was like a Blair Witch Project, because it was about October '99. We actually got the DVD player because it was part of the insurance payout from an accident I was in several months before then that almost wrecked my car.
Wow.
And once I got the car back, someone ran the bumper off my car because they ran the red light.
Oh.
So I had to go back in the shop.
Just your luck.
Then a year later, the thing would fall apart. And it'd be dead.
I think it's interesting that she's a botanist or whatever.
Sure.
And yet, she comes across a bunch of flowers on a large bush
That typically...
in the park.
Yeah.
That she would know, which is why she thinks it's a hybrid. But why would it be a hybrid on just that bush in the park that she's never seen before?
Right.
But that's neither here nor there.
Sure.
Look how quickly it roots.
Yeah. I like that. We're going to talk a lot about cinematography in this one. Just it's very... It's such well-calculated cinematography. Like, we're not doing this as a standard shot, reverse shot type of thing. We're doing it almost like we're peering down the corridor or whatnot.
You're eavesdropping.
Eavesdropping on their lives. So it's like there's a lot of very almost subjective sort of camera angles. Or
right. Here's a mirror shot. Like, we're not supposed to see what's going on there.
Like lenses get used a lot in this thing. I mean, this cinematography of this film is a tour de force for me. Well, Donald Sutherland.
Donald Sutherland. Oof.
What a career so far.
He is such a delight.
Oh, yeah.
And an absolute treasure in everything he's ever done.
Oh, yeah.
He's, a year and a half removed from, or not removed from, but away from being in the Best Picture of the Year for 1980, the year of our Lord that we were born.
Okay.
Actually, recently...
Nice suit he's got, man.
The blue,
the blue
stripe?
stripe, yeah. Not so much the tie. It's a little...
chaotic. But you know what? It's not bad. Because he's got a solid shirt, so it works. It's appropriate for the time.
Yeah. Droppings.
Nope. It's a turd.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, how?
Yeah.
Shutting you down.
Love it. Love it.
Hard and fast.
That guy's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, none of this business.
What was I saying? Oh, so Donald Sutherland. I just watched earlier this week the adaptation of Mr. Harrigan's Phone, the Stephen King story from, I guess it would have been 2020, the If It Bleeds novel, or it was a collection of...
Is that the only time he's been in a King adaptation? It's in the 2004 Salem's Lot.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I like that adaptation.
And it was very good, and he plays the old man, because that's what you play when you're...
What is it, 80 now?
Oh, he's got to be older than that.
He's got to be 40, making this thing 45 years ago. So.
Right. So I'm going to look him up here.
I mean, Kiefer is he's probably close to 50.
I think he's in his 50s.
Probably in his 50s, yeah, if not.
Donald Sutherland is the low age of 88.
Still looking very well.
Kiefer is 56.
Sounds about right. So, 32 years apart.
So, and she works for the health department.
Yeah.
For him, is that correct?
I believe that's the case. And it's Brooke Evans, which we've done. She was in Dead Zone, and she was in something else we did. Something like the last year, I forget what it was.
Yeah, she definitely looks very familiar. Always so interested in the mirror shots when they're turning around, and I'm waiting to see a camera or a cord or something, a boom mic.
Sure, sometimes they call back, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I thought it was another King adaptation she was in.
This one, not a Stephen King.
No, but in terms of Dead Zone.
Yeah, very nice iconography there with the flower.
Oh, yeah. This nice sort of bluish neon light going through the thing to give it a little splash.
Yeah, it makes it a little eerie.
Make it look kind of alien in that light.
Right, like, what is it?
Yeah.
And, what's also interesting is it didn't look like that when it was up in the other planet.
Yeah.
So...
It's definitely morphing. And now it's not there.
Right.
Very subtle type of things. As you look back on the film, you pick up the pieces, what they're doing here, but that makes it extremely smart filmmaking.
Right, it's not there because he dropped it on the floor.
Right.
Allegedly.
Right.
Jeffrey with a G-O, a Geoffrey. That's weird. I know several of them, but it's just still weird to me.
Yeah.
She's a very striking woman.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure we said that both on the other two.
And she's been good in everything we've watched.
Again, like you were saying, this voyeuristic point of view camera shoot. And clearly he's behaving strangely.
Yeah, very cold. Distant.
Robotic, almost. Sure. In his brown suit. I have a brown suit.
Ain't nobody. You don't see him around much.
You really don't. But I have a brown suit, and it's nice. It's one of my faves. Just interesting, right?
We're all 15 minutes in, and it's just like this film just really has a great handle on just the subtle. It's not even know that it's paranoia yet, but it's just doing these little things, slight push in here and there, slight odd behavior. Even that guy running across the street is like an odd thing to just throw in the scene, but it kind of informs you of
a slight chaos,
an atmosphere that's kind of creeping in around the world. It's all shot in San Francisco, which was a change they kind of made late in the game because they were thinking about just almost like doing almost the exact same thing the 50s one did, just with more like modern social aesthetics or whatnot. But it was going to be more like rural stuff like that, more small community. But I thought if you want to make it modern, you put it in a big city, and like San Francisco has been such a hotbed of cultural.
Right, especially in the 70s.
There's just so much cultural stuff happening overall. It was just like a great idea to put it in there.
So the original one was not set in San Francisco?
No, it was all just small town America type of stuff. So
I see.
More that kind of just that small town paranoia type of thing, where just like the community that you know starts becoming a little more alien to you in that regard. But they're so good about this. Again, even just walking past with the guy kind of standing out there in front of the frosted glass is just weird.
Right.
You just throw in these subtle little background things that just feel off kilter. In a big city, you could just kind of get lost in the crowd of everything. It's like you can, in a certain way, you can be kind of uncertain of where your identity is amongst all this clamor of the city and stuff like that. It's kind of an interesting way to project this type of weird paranoia into the whole thing. And San Francisco is already an eclectic city on its own, that you can get a lot of interesting things off of that. I'm sure if you went to San Francisco now, there'd probably be some areas of the entire city. It'd be like a little, just weird sights to see and different types of people and stuff like that would kind of throw you off to a certain degree.
Yeah, I like the idea of it being in a big town to show scope of, how...
Yeah. One other version I've seen, which I also covered, was the Abel Ferrara version from the 90s. And he had jumped on that thing kind of late in the game, so we really didn't have a lot of opportunity to kind of rework the entire idea, because it was all kind of like set on a military base. I found it was pretty good. It was, again, another film that looked absolutely stunning. But then there was the Nicole Kidman, Daniel Craig one that came out in like 2007 or something else like that. I never saw it. I heard there's a lot of behind the scenes, kind of like they shot it one way, then they went back and reshot half the thing and rewrote it, and a whole bunch of random stuff.
It's a hell of a knife.
Oh yeah,
cleaver.
That's a guy who knows what he's doing in the kitchen. You don't grab that off the shelf for just anything.
Look at how thinly sliced that ginger is.
Oh yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Cutting everything on an angle.
Oh yeah. He's got some wine. You spend enough time inspecting kitchens, you might as well pick up a few things.
Yeah. I mean, that could be...
Picking up by osmosis.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it would be like to be in this scenario where, somebody that you're around every day...
Yeah. Suddenly takes on a completely different complexion of how they interact with you.
Chopsticks.
But it's an interesting thing because it's not throwing the alien stuff at you like a full bore type of thing. It's subtle behavioral type of things, which, building up from like a relationship between two people living together, it feels very relatable. I'm sure there's people who have been through a relationship where it's like, okay, the person you're with, the relationship takes on a different dynamic, and they're not the same person you really knew when things go off in a different direction. It feels like a very relatable way to start the story, to branch it off in a different direction. It's not like an alien ship comes down and shoots beams everywhere and everyone changes into a weird friggin' thing.
Right. It's much slower.
Yeah.
But we have to have an example to follow.
Right. It's working off of human behavior, so that's very much a relatable thing.
Whether he's become gay.
Become gay.
Right. Because that's how it works.
70s terminology in that regard.
I guess in his defense, there are people that, either suppress it and then later in life decide, this is who I was all along.
It's wild.
That's fine. I don't know if I can do that. I don't want to try. It would give me a headache.
Yeah, I feel like it.
But the phrasing "become gay" is so hilarious to me.
Yeah. It's an odd way of putting it.
But perfectly normal for 78.
Yeah, totally. They're all social idiots back then.
It's funny that you say that, yet the films were so much more intelligent and sophisticated than they are now.
Yeah.
Like, we make movies now for the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
And back in the 70s, you made a movie, and if you didn't follow it, then you were just left by the wayside.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I said the new Hollywood movement that got birthed out of the over extravagant 60s mega freaking lavish production stuff that just really was just going over like a lead balloon. Then everything comes in. You got Coppola, Scorsese, Spielberg. Everyone else is trying to go back to like a core quality of filmmaking, making good stories with very innovative ways of making a film. And this totally fits in that mold.
This is good.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know
Yeah.
that not my wife.
Mm-hmm. So that real subtle, edgy paranoia. He does think people are just being blowing things out of proportion, but the looks, all that type of stuff.
And also
the lingering shots.
It also gives Sutherland now his own personal experience.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it isn't just secondhand news.
Yeah.
To quote Fleetwood Mac.
All right.
Real hot in 78.
Oh, yeah.
Still steaming that coffee.
Yeah, I was going to say. Again,
my brown suit is a little more like this one. It's got a little pattern to it.
Okay. I'm going to say, great shot. Getting the architecture in the background. You could have shot it through against a blank wall or just nothing out the window. You found the right room with the right view.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Anymore they would have just green screened it or whatever.
Some nonsense. She's freaked out.
Right, but now here's the question.
He's a little freaked out himself.
Has she turned?
Yeah.
At this point.
You never know. That's the great shell game of the whole film. You're never entirely certain.
And
yeah.
If you watch some of the featurettes, behind the scenes, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Not on this, but on Halloween 3.
Okay.
Tommy Lee Wallace will tell you that he treats Halloween 3 like a pod movie.
Uh-huh.
It's not a slasher movie, it's a pod movie.
Okay. Yeah. I feel that. When you've got the small town, you've got the androids. It's got that. I think we mentioned that in our commentary.
Probably.
I think we did too.
Available in the archives now if anyone wants to fact check us. But Tommy Lee Wallace talks about being so inspired by the original Body Snatchers and the town that they were in was Santa Mira.
Yeah, yeah.
So, which I guess answers my original question.
We're going to get something here that touches on it. I think not
there,
quite.
but
not
coming
yet.
up.
It's getting there.
So, it's interesting how this movie inspired. Even the ending to Halloween 3 mirrors the ending to the original Body Snatchers.
Really does.
So that was Tommy Lee Wallace paying homage to, this story.
Yeah, that's great. Just want to watch it all over again.
I know, I friggin' love Halloween 3.
And this, I mean...
I have the 4K
yeah,
and it's,
me too.
It's really,
beautiful,
really
beautiful.
nice. Really nice. I think it was on the Horrors Hallowed Grounds episode that Sean Clark did. So if anybody has the Halloween 3 disc, I'm sure that's on there. That's where you can find that.
Yeah, all this just
weird, right? Everything's
really
weird.
People in business suits out in the middle of a dingy field somewhere. It's all just very clandestine weirdness.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And everyone's passing packages around.
Like an espionage, Cold War conspiracy film. Which a lot of the original films got.
Probably exactly
A lot of people read it into. Apparently the filmmakers didn't intend to be like McCarthyism, communism,
right.
Red Scare type of stuff, but they kind of read it into it because it was just too easy to do so. He's coming up here.
Yeah, right here I believe we're going to have the little cameo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the gentleman's name.
Kevin McCarthy. He was just in our UHF commentary.
That's right. But I can't remember his name, ever.
Yeah. Speaking of McCarthyism, I think it's the same guy.
Yeah, it is his name.
Same fucking guy's name. He's coming back around. Great camera work.
I love this, right? It's so chaotic.
They're not using a Steadicam. They could have used it at the time because, Carpenter was using it at the exact same time making Halloween, but they're specifically using handheld camera movements that create the unsteady... Not just
jerkiness,
unsteady,
right.
The destabilized feeling you have with this sort of thing swirling around you. This disorientation of what you're experiencing. There you go.
There's the Weinstein Company. The origins there. They started at a small storefront, and I don't know. I'm making it up. Bank of America. They still suck in 2023.
There's a Coke sign over there.
Yeah.
On the left.
Bookstore. Copies. That's you. I think there was a YMCA on the left.
I'm sure there is.
And here he is. So, McCarthy played the Sutherland role.
Yeah.
In the original film.
Protagonist of the original, and this is... I don't know exactly what the terminology would use. Kaufman says he is playing the same character, so technically he's saying this is...
In canon?
In canon with the original film, even though you could probably read whatever happens at the end of the original film in different ways in that regard. But he's really intending that as still a carryover from what happened before. Not that it really has any bearing on what happens here, but it's just him putting that directly on here. We're not trying to supplant the original, we're kind of trying to...
Extend it,
sort of complement it.
Right, we're not going to call it a sequel.
Right.
It's not a spin-off, it's not a requel.
Yeah, look at all these guys in the brown jackets, man.
The blind guy.
Blind guy. There we go.
The Fly himself.
I'm trying to hunt down a Blu-ray of The Fly. It's not easy to find unless you buy the Screen Factory box set, which I'm not interested in.
I don't remember...
So I've never watched it, but I'm willing to grab it, watch it, then maybe we can talk about it.
I might have the Blu... I have a copy. It might be the Blu-ray.
I almost grabbed it, but they're going fast on eBay, man. They pop up and they vanish real fast.
I need to look and see which copy I have. I don't think it's a straight DVD. I feel like it's a Blu-ray.
Okay.
If it is, I'll let you borrow it.
All right.
See, this is exactly how work gets done around here on this channel, and you're getting a peek behind the curtain.
Love the mirror, man. I don't know if that was already there or they built it for the set or the location. It's just
the funhouse quality just adds to that off-putting nature of.
Well, even beyond that, once you're looking back on the film and know what the hell it's all about, it's like, okay, these distorted reflections of people that are not who they actually seem to be.
Right.
It's all just layers of visual metaphor and foreshadowing. That's my boy. Oh, Nimoy.
Mr. Nimoy. That lady looks familiar to me, too, but...
And then you reveal him, who was one of the guys meeting with her husband in one of those little flashback things.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
He was one of the guys going up the escalator looking all zombie-like. Love this film.
Yeah,
look at that.
The distorted...
Yeah, it's all just...
Oh, the old Sesame Street there behind. I was always frustrated how the woman, Catherine, was trying to say something, and they were like, "We're talking," and they just shunned her.
Look at that hair.
Yeah, that's oof.
Not the tie can go.
That ties style is very popular. The paisley, the
and it's
chaotic.
In retrospect, it's not. It's not appealing.
No.
And left looks like Ian McKellen.
A little bit. Mixed with little Grandpa Joe.
Yeah. A lazy bastard.
I know. Fucker.
That was weird.
What's that?
The subtitle, it said, "It's a big conspiracy." They missed the I in it's. It was T''S.
Really? That's just a typo, clearly, but...
I gotta double check your work. Look at all the background extras.
I know. Like
with the guy with the
that
frickin',
Colonel... Yeah,
Colonel Sanders looking fucker.
You're right.
With the pattern jacket. Frame is very dense.
Yeah, everybody has, because it's actually a thing. At some point, when you hear enough evidence...
Alright.
Charles King that's the same brand of wine that was in Sutherland's kitchen the night before or whatever.
Again, it's great because, I mean, like I'm saying before, the entire story is starting out with human behaviors and dynamics, and then you introduce a character who's like this big new wave psychiatrist.
Right.
They know what they're doing.
Well, it's almost a little bit of the I'm the parent, I know better.
Sure.
Because he's
I'm the expert. Yes.
Right. But at the same time, Sutherland... at the same time, both Sutherland and Goldblum are both experts in their own right.
Yeah.
But this guy's just a narcissist and thinks that his opinion is the superior
Yeah,
one.
he's gotten stroked up and down.
Well, everybody likes that once in a while.
He's even got a Paisley ascot on.
Yeah, well, fuck that guy. He's your guy, not mine. I'm a Sutherland guy. You can be a Nimoy guy.
I think you'd take that sport coat, though.
Well, maybe.
Under the right circumstance.
Yeah, for the right circumstance. You're right.
No one wears a sport coat anymore.
No, they
big
don't.
Patches on the freaking elbows. No, no more in style.
We should turn that around.
Mm-hmm. It's got a flavor to it.
God, I love a deli. A good Jewish deli. Oh my God, you can't beat it. Pastrami on rye. Fuck. Give it to me all day. Here's where I know we talked about this a little bit in our last commentary about how the middle act, the act 2, which is traditionally 70 to 80, 90 minutes long, is the hardest one because it's the whole story, right? It's what happens that gets you from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
And this is where I feel like the movie slows down a little bit for me.
Probably a little bit. I mean, it is more of a slow burn type of film.
It is. But... And there's a little bit of a dramatic irony to it because we know what's going on, but the characters don't.
We got a hint at certain things, but at least we're not knowing exactly
who. Right.
Not as much of who is here, there.
Right.
There's still some plot twists that hit up.
I agree. I'm not saying it's full-blown Three's Company, but I do think that, like, we know that Leonard Nimoy is wrong.
Right. We're gonna, we're pretty cemented on the whole thing.
So, watching Leonard Nimoy trying to convince the other characters that he's right, seems plotting. It's like blah 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 blah. Let's go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, talking about again that whole setup of the entire thing floating through space and whatnot. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. Either you do that up front to kind of set the stage to let the audience know what type of film it is, or you don't do it, and then everyone kind of meanders around trying to figure out exactly what type of film it is for like the next 45 minutes.
Right, and then they're pissed off when it's science fiction.
Yeah, and it's not some interpersonal drama type of story. So, but you call it Invasion of the Body Snatchers, so you're kind of let out the bag anyway. So,
I just think like there's some sort of slow-moving. It's a little quicksandy, It's like all right,
I can get you.
It's like The Dream where you're running fast but you can't get anywhere.
Nice mud bath. No one does a mud bath anymore.
No, this is a very
It's all set very 70s New Age philosophy film.
I feel like this is
look at that tear, man. Look at that. He's acting now.
This is a place where you go after you become gay, and is you go to the mud bath. Or, there is some sort of, oh boy, he was hanging some dong there, and I'm no good. Who reads a book in a mud bath?
Yeah, and come on, he's slopped all over the place. And he's letting something loose there.
Worlds collide.
More subtlety for you, maybe less subtle.
I just think there's an entire subculture of the baths.
Yeah.
And
yeah, a little bit.
A bathhouse.
Bathhouse, definitely, yes.
And if there was a place touting mud baths, I would imagine that that's where all the become gay folks go.
The back door.
Right. Not that I'm against it.
No, just back in the day, there was a certain.
I'm all about it, but. I love a bathhouse. The concept of it.
Back in the day, a certain lack of acceptance, so you had to kind of dodge around certain areas of society.
Right. It does feel like this is kind of a closed-off endeavor, right?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like the hottest moneymaker, even though it is.
It's not necessarily open to the public, so to speak. It's a wink-wink back door.
Again. Really great blocking in this whole thing, just again. They're really just showing duplicity and obscured visages. I think just a little bit off kilter here and there, just to keep you a little on edge.
What they've done a great job of is making you question whether somebody is
or isn't.
Is or isn't, right. And Goldblum is so fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Just in everything.
Yeah.
The Fly in particular.
Mm.
But this, for sure.
Yeah. You see all the signature Goldblum stuff you'd know later on. Just like the slight neurosis, the sort of intensity of how he just drives himself into a scene, the physicality he puts into stuff.
There's another little plant.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the replaced humans know that the plant is them, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, do they recognize that that's the origin?
I think so.
Which is why he gifted her one?
Yeah.
Because he wants her to become one also?
Yeah. Especially when you're going through the flashbacks, they're saying she's following him around or whatnot, and they're kind of handing off all this different stuff and like wrapped up in newspaper or whatnot. Those are supposed to be the pods.
Oh.
But again, another great shot. Just
the lighting
shot over there, the stark lighting. It's all very expressionistic type of stuff. It just, oh Lord.
Is she talking to the chubby guy? Oh no, she's talking to... Oh yeah. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And well, I don't want to say a problem, but we're 40 minutes in. And I feel like we could have gotten there a little quicker.
Maybe.
Yes, I like the subtext of, the who is and who isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Nimoy stuff that really slows it down for me.
Okay.
And, yeah, I know that you need that to counterbalance Goldblum a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't there, like, again, character dynamics? It's nice that him and Nimoy are so just diametrically opposed type of characters.
Right.
You need a little conflict in there to give a little friction on the story. Nice thing with the army jacket. Seemed to imply a certain thing with him. Especially in this era. Post-Vietnam.
I love that Sutherland's first instinct is to say that it's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that smoke or fog coming from?
Hmm.
Now, they're not saying that this is actually the guy.
They're just trying to figure out exactly what the hell this is.
Because, like, I've always kind of thought that that was a person who was covered and then rebirthed, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But they're insinuating almost that it was created out of nothing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great reaction, too. Uh-oh.
There we go.
Oh, no, she's got the spores. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's nice they set up with Goldblum because he's got the kind of cracked mouth and whatnot. He's got the nosebleed and whatnot.
And this guy, whoever he is doing a very good job of
without saying a goddamn word.
Right. He's being very robotic.
He looks a little like Dick Warlock, honestly.
Actually, yeah, he does.
He's got the same kind of swoopy hairstyle.
Of course, Goldblum doesn't want to do that. Yeah, I guess the implication is that he is actually also infected, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got the spores on his face, too.
Yeah, it's all over. Under the eyes, around the mouth.
On his hand.
Yeah, it's real nice work.
And why does she not say, honey, you've got shit all over your face?
Right, a little bit.
Great shot there with him in the background. It's a mirror.
You can see the sideburns are exactly the same. The hair's, and they're not seeing features on the face. You can kind of see it looks like a duplicate right off of that angle.
Right, exactly. Just in the way that they're laying.
Yeah.
In that supine position.
Yeah.
As it were.
Now you can start telling, definitely. Oh.
Amazing. And how is it that great shot where the second that Goldblum opened his eyes, the other guy shuts his eyes?
Yeah, it's almost like a psionic connection between the two of them.
And there's the nosebleed.
Yeah.
And the
little tendrils.
The spores saying, or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Saying, I want to go to there.
Yeah.
There's those beautiful San Francisco style full house houses.
Say. Danny Tanner's on this block somewhere.
God, I hope so. R.I.P. We haven't talked about the the perm job that he's got on here.
Oh, yeah, it's wonderful.
Like, you really couldn't pull that off for very much longer.
No.
My dad kind of had that.
Well, though.
My dad had that hairstyle into the mid-'80s.
Yeah.
Kind of a Jew-fro a little bit. Curly.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if he actually received a permanent or not, but sure. Maybe. Recent trend of the kids doing that.
Mm.
My nephew once got a permanent.
Yeah.
At the age of 15.
Mm. Bars on the windows. Oh, Marge.
Yeah, oh, fucking Marge. Gross, I believe was the reaction.
Yes.
Those headphones.
Big old 70s headphones, man. Yeah, that's where it's at. Spinning them vinyls.
Listen to Night at the Opera.
Oh, yeah.
In all its glory.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe Love Gun.
Mm.
What an archaic way of locking your door.
Yeah, I was going to say, there must be a lot of burglaries around here.
Slum. God, it's like a goddamn barn door.
It's a nice angle.
Yeah, this
film's on fire with the cinematography, man.
It's creepy because,
but
he's also broken into the house and is creeping around.
Oh yeah.
So any angle you can use that's creepy for creeping.
God damn it.
I was going to look up and see if...
I'm just like, anyone wants to know anything about noir, cinematography, German expressionism, just watch this film. Just turn the sound off and just watch every frame of this movie. It's so alive with the stark lighting, the subjective camera angles, the Dutch angles in places. It's just all over the place. It's so brilliant.
Uh-oh. So again, we have the same thing where one character experiences something and somebody doesn't believe it necessarily, and then they see it for their own...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they see what's going on.
Yeah.
And right there, it is proof that it does replicate aside from the actual person.
Mm-hmm.
So what we were looking at in the bathhouse was not growth on the man, it was growth in the shape of a man.
Yeah. Lighting everywhere, man. Just
I was trying to look to see if it was nominated for any Oscars, and it doesn't look like it was.
I don't believe so, unfortunately, because there's something else I was looking at. I think it was when I was looking up stuff for Exorcist and whatnot. There was not yet a special makeup effects Oscar, so I don't know if they would have even had it at this point for the effects work.
Right.
But even then, I would... cinematography alone.
Well...
Maybe even editing. Score.
Screenplay. It did get a nomination, according to Wikipedia, from the Writers Guild for adaptation.
Yeah.
And it was also nominated for a Hugo Award for Best Dramatic Presentation.
Well, there you go. That's high praise regardless.
And then it says it was recognized by the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films.
That's the Saturn Awards.
Okay, Kaufman won Best Director.
There you go.
And it was nominated for Best Science Fiction Film.
There you go. I'll take that completely.
All right, there you go. I mean, it's not the
Saturn
Academy.
Awards are still around today, so they're a respected body, even though they don't get talked about much. If they've been around for 45 years, I think they've got enough value behind them to say that's a worthy achievement.
Yeah.
I was going to say, green is such a 70s color, but works so much for the film, I think, because you're dealing with plant spores and stuff like that. It works for those aesthetics. But it's still a very 70s color anyway.
Yeah, but I love it.
It works.
And again, it's the non-believer is not eye-rolling, but like eye-rolling in the sense of let's get on with the story, not I don't believe his point of view, if that makes sense.
I think it works better upon rewatch once you have something to play with Nimoy's character when you get the turn with his character later on. Similar to something like in The Thing, when it's like, okay, you find out this person is a thing later on in the film, but when did they get turned? When did this happen? Were they that from almost the outset? Did it happen halfway through the film? When did the agenda of this character come into play? And nice things with the freaking garbage truck, just constantly.
Right.
Showing it. And it's always this dust bin. This big pile of dust bunnies or whatnot in there.
Right, which indicates that's where the original bodies have gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sanitation department, they clean up.
They're working 24/7.
Now, we're about at our midpoint.
Sure.
Timestamp wise. But I don't know.
Yeah, there's not much. There's not a pivot.
I guess maybe him discovering her.
Maybe a little bit. Just.
But I don't know. Like.
Just some root. You're not. Right way to put it. Them becoming aware that something nefarious and outside of their comprehension is actually going down here.
And now it really kind of looks like he's the crazy one.
All right, right. It's starting to turn like a conspiracy theory, thriller.
Right. And then, of course, the audience then has to wonder, who else is turned?
Right.
Where's the balance of power now? Are there more pods than people?
Right. And there is a way you could play the entire film where it is feeling much more like a through-line conspiracy theory, conspiracy thriller.
Try again.
Play it like it's more like a conspiracy thriller, with maybe just a sprinkle of something a little more extraordinary happening.
Yeah.
Maybe not be as obvious about it from the outset. Maybe just some. I don't know exactly what. Be extremely subtle about it, where it doesn't hit the audience out of left field. There's just something enough there to inform you of something. But I take a much more creative mind than mine to figure that one out. And then everyone just again the little that looks like almost like a model shot.
Yeah, I don't know if it was, but it looked like it. Apparently, he went bowling last night, and his wrist is hurting.
Yeah, some kind of wrist guard deal.
And again, the narcissism on this asshole to be like, I'm going to break it down. Mm-hmm. I'm going to figure it out.
Some kind of mass hallucination everyone's having or some shit.
And part of me wonders which side of the scope would I be on?
Sure.
In the "it could happen to me" scenario. So
if you hadn't seen what they've seen, if you're just taking it by their accounts,
right? But at some point, the preponderance of evidence, or at least the preponderance of certain, hearsay,
eyewitness testimony, yeah.
right, would lead me to believe that my mind
There's
would
a validity to what they're saying,
right.
And
there's something.
It begs further scrutiny,
right. Especially when you have a person that's saying, like, I was a participant in the phenomenon.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm very much like him.
Yeah, you are.
I am.
You're a naysayer.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would tend to be on the side of the not Nimoy, the group
Goldblum side.
Yeah, and it's even better that they have heat betwixt them,
which inflames the situation further.
Right. She's great.
Oh yeah. As the fact that like they don't even really have much of a conjecture exactly what it is. Just like they don't know what to call it. They don't know what to believe what it is. But this is what we've seen. This is what we experienced. And despite as preposterous as it seems, this is what happened. I like that. It's like they're not trying to make conjectures of what it is. It's just like these are the plain simple facts of what we've experienced. They're not jumping to wild conclusions and trying to jump ahead when the film should be informing the characters and the audience of what's really going on. Because there'd be a screenwriter sort of compulsion, like, right now, they're going to just jump to the end conclusion of exactly what it is without it really making sense that they would...
The human guesswork?
Say that, yeah.
Right. 227.
Oh, yeah.
Jack A. We're right back there.
Mary.
That's right. That's 2 in a row. If you've not checked out our John Carpenter's Vampires, Jack A. Harry was a victim of the vampires. Or at least a Jack A. Harry comp.
Just, again, it's a nice shot where it's like, okay, you think it's Dutch angle, but it's actually not because the entire slanted streets of San Francisco. So it makes, again, another great image. And then that cements the fact he's not with them. So he's still posing as if he's regular human, but he's not. He's the one doing the imitation of them to infiltrate the group and everything, to kind of curb what they're doing. Which, again, would have been a nice midpoint, but again, technically, we're just after the midpoint, but that's kind of on it. After the stuff in the bedroom there, talking with the officials and people, the bodies disappearing, and then you reveal Nimoy's in out with them. That's kind of not as strong of a one, but it kind of pivots the story from the audience's perspective, not so the character's perspective. I mean, it's heightened the paranoia for them that the bodies disappeared and no one believes them and stuff like that, and they're kind of the world's starting to feel like it's shrinking down on them a little bit. They know something that kind of no one else knows and no one else believes. So now that their cluster group of a few people is becoming much more tight-knit, but also more volatile.
How do we know that there aren't groups like this all around the whole city?
Exactly. Probably is. But again, I like the fact that they keep this story kind of intimate.
Oh, I agree. And that's kind of the beauty of it.
And the weirdness just happens a little bit in the background here and there.
The fact that it's a big city, and means that the underlying insinuation is that it's a much bigger problem than just the group. Right. Whereas if you play it in a small town, Santa Mira, it feels more plausible that it could take over the whole town, and you just kind of assume, like, oh, small town, it's just here. Yeah. But the bigger the background, it could be global, right? Yeah. Right.
Again, another kind of interesting subject that it's not really showing you anything, but it's telling you something. He's kind of looking out on the world, and it's just, It's almost a ponderous shot.
Right. Also, point of view, voyeuristic from their angle.
Yeah.
It wasn't like street level, just here's the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. This is close to your type of bulletin board. Just need some strings and some photos here and there.
We don't necessarily need strings, but but I do love, photos and
mapping out the puzzle.
Mapping and pinpoints and names and pictures and a family tree style. Wow.
Yeah.
You suck. I'm going to do your job.
Mm-hmm.
There's, I think this is the scene where he realizes that whoever, oh no, I guess it's not. There is a scene where...
There is a scene where he's on the phone and
he realizes...
someone uses his name. It's like, how do you know my name?
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes up a little later on.
What is that guy doing? That's odd. Is he just a weird, crazy homeless person, or...
Could be.
You don't know.
Or he's just another guy in San Francisco. Again. I think we got a little glimpse of a reflection on that one.
Oh, did we? I missed it.
We're just dancing around it. You gotta be careful, folks.
Again, another low angle.
Yeah. And again, nice unsteady camera work. It just created that uneasiness, the chaos.
Right.
It's all in the aesthetics, man.
Oh, famous chili dogs, sure. I like your point about San Francisco being an already slanty city.
Yeah. Great.
But this is definitely chaos and paranoia.
Oh yeah.
You know,
amplified.
They even did. If you're listening with the sound on,
yeah, there's a little womp going.
There's also a stereo effect where some of the voices are coming from the left and some are coming from the right, which
stuff.
Make it even more goofy, like curiouser and curiouser.
This thing does have a 2.0 track, but I don't know if it might be a doubled up mono or if they actually did it in stereo. Probably grab that on IMDb, see if they have that.
Is he wearing a cable knit tie? Because that's just bad.
Oh, it says sound mix was Dolby, so that should have been a Dolby stereo mix. So yeah, that was an original mixing choice they made.
Again, just furthers the chaos, you know.
Yeah.
Isn't there a 24-hour news is such a weird statement to hear in our time?
Yeah.
And to think that that was a problem then.
Yeah. Even on the radio.
No, don't take that.
No.
He's a very odd-looking man.
Nimoy?
Do you know what his heritage is?
Well, he's Jewish.
He's got to have some sort of other mix, though. I don't know.
I don't know.
I figured he's your guy. You might know a little more about him. Just an odd-looking fellow, I thought. You know, very, very distinct, striking.
Immigrants from Ukraine. His parents were from Ukraine, so. Yeah, they smuggled their way out of the Soviet Union.
No, good for them. The Nimoys. Is that their actual given name? Or did they change it?
No. Leonard Simon Nimoy.
Okay.
I don't know what the parents or whatnot, but He has a distant cousin, Jeff Nimoy, so I'd imagine so.
It's probably Jeffrey with a J.
No, yeah, Jeff, regular old Jeff.
Not a G off.
Proper Jeff. Not Jeffrey Giraffe.
Right. By the way, Jeffrey the Giraffe was a national treasure. Good ivy.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of plant imagery all over the place. I wish that they'd given this perspective in the first scene when he and her were sitting in the garden.
Probably, yeah.
Just to show
starkness.
Yeah, well, also
something.
They did kind of an overhead shot, and it made it look like why are you sitting out there? Like, that's weird. Sure. But then you see that, and you see the view.
Yeah, the view.
And you're like, oh, there's a view. That changes things.
Yeah. I don't know what the name of that kind of spire triangular building is in San Francisco, but it's iconic, and he's like a central part of the city.
That's me every day at 5:30.
Need some no-dos.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is before Nancy Thompson was an expert.
Yeah, good old pot of coffee.
Little Hypnosil. This is a really great effect.
Backwards photography stuff here, too. And with a camera movie, and
there's a whole fucking pod growing in his garden, and he didn't notice.
Almighty.
He didn't notice?
Yeah, seems a little much. More than one.
You know what that looks like?
What?
A giant rat turd.
Right, there's a whole host of them here.
I know. And this is great. Look at the flower.
Yeah.
It's so primitive, but yet so effective.
Really, really effective. I mean,
oh, there's whooshing.
Mm-hmm.
And that looks like a head being birthed.
Oof.
Cool. Which is kind of poetic.
All gross, but also very beautiful, what they do here.
And I guess it looks like a head because it kind of is a head, right?
Yeah. Ugh.
My only problem, it looks like Jason Voorhees from...
Came with the toxic waste.
Right.
Little wobble freaking sound effect thing doing some work here.
Maybe that's where they got the idea 10 years later was for the toxic waste baby. I guess that's why it looks like there's a head coming out of it, because there actually is. My question, though, let me get back to this, is, and probably my biggest problem with this whole movie is established right here. And that is, if it becomes a pod and, shits out a human replica, where were all these pods in the other scenes?
Sure, yeah.
Like, in Catherine and Jeffrey's bedroom, was there a giant pod that grew overnight and then shit him out?
Right. I mean, I think it was sitting on the dresser. Would have fucking enveloped half the fucking bed.
Right, exactly. Well, maybe that's why it knocked the glass off.
Well, I'm guessing that the dust he was wiping up was probably the remains of the original guy.
Yeah, that could be. I always thought this was really kind of interesting.
Oof.
The one that looks just like Donald Sutherland.
Yeah.
Which may or may not act that's probably just Donald Sutherland in a...
Right, probably. Or
a really good body cast. But
if he's doing this...
Gyrating?
No, I'm just saying if he's doing this camera move from one to the next, it's probably... probably some dumb prosthetics, or they had some kind of some sort of dummy they could just start pumping stuff into.
That looks pretty gross.
Mm-hmm.
And who are these other two supposed to be? One is... We don't know? Like, who is that?
Well,
Catherine?
That looks like Catherine.
You tried that before,
Yeah,
and they were
didn't...
gone by the time you got there.
Hey, I think this is the point. There it is.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, just that's peak paranoia right there.
I like that. I'm just calling the entire District of Columbia, the entire town of Washington.
It says FBI, CIA. I call
the president. Who knows?
What? I once put it in one of my scripts. Government alphabet soup.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah. It's another garbage truck for you. Looks like it.
Yeah, definitely. Which is convenient that the garbage truck is right there on scene.
Yeah.
Another Mr. Bennell. Holy shit. Are all these police people pods? Oh my god, I don't know.
No.
And now it really feels like the four of them against the world.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, totally.
There's your spire again.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, just... Oof. It's a mind screw.
A mind screw. Like, he doesn't want to do it.
It just feels so bizarre to him. It goes right to the face.
God damn it.
Yes, he goes right to it. There's the
screeching.
Screeches. Yeah.
And, where was the screeching before? Like, I guess maybe everything is kind of evolving.
Yeah.
And so my biggest problem was always...
like now that they feel like they have the majority of the community.
Right, that they're communicating.
They've got control.
Right, they're communicating with each other, whatever.
They're not the minority. They don't have to keep flipping around in the shadows.
It's one of those where...
The paradigm shifted.
I kind of feel like they haven't followed the rules, but they never really told me what the rules were.
Sure.
So, it's not that they didn't follow them, it's just they never established them.
Yeah.
And so, I think to most people, they just accept because they weren't told rules. So they just accept the evolving.
Yeah.
Whereas, whereas I'm like, wait, that doesn't add up. More chaos. More quick cuts.
Yeah.
Great shot there of the 4 eyeballs through the stairs.
Yeah.
Or 8 eyeballs. 4 sets. Like, that's a great, like, marketing image, almost. Yeah. There's your slanty street.
Yeah, with the big shadows. It's like, man.
You're like, why is the camera tilted? It's not.
Just how they made this. This is how the city is, man.
Actually, that one does look a little exaggerated.
A little bit, but there's not as bad as one. just opening that frame up to show the like big scope of them being these small images in this entire big lost landscape now. And I like the fact, I mean, the types of characters they chose, just like the professions they're in. They're not like big scientists. They're not even like big government people. They're just kind of Sutherland. He's just a regular municipal type of civil servant type of guy, just doing a regular old freaking 9-to-5 job. He's got no stroke with the government. He's got nothing special.
Yeah,
no one's like an army person particularly. No one's walking around with a gun or whatnot, or can really kind of nail down the scientific explanation of what's going on. They're just people and regular, relatable job types.
Right.
They didn't make anyone extraordinary in that regard.
Yeah, they could have even gone so far as to make one of them a cop, and it would have been like, it would have seemed a little on the nose or something.
And the score, man. Fuck all of this. This score is from a jazz musician. And this is the only score he ever produced, because he said, one and done, I nailed it.
I don't know.
That's perfect.
Right.
Denny Zeitlin. I'm sure it's available somewhere. It's got to be on a vinyl or something. It feels exactly perfect for a vinyl release. And the score hasn't been that prevalent up to now. It's been a little bit of stuff here and there.
Agreed. And that...
But now that the scope is kind of widened out to them...
That helicopter, actually, just because they only show the lights, so it's very UFO-like.
Almost.
Which, again, it's just a little eerie and off-putting.
Backlighting back there, I mean, just really smart stuff.
Don't fall asleep. Ooh, are they walking like that because they're turned? Are they pretending to fit in?
Mm-hmm.
That's a really, really cool shot that just kind of shows you...
Yeah. Just a little stumble thing that they're just not really paying attention. It's not showing any expressions, just watching them move around. It's enough of a telltale sign of everything. Again.
And then everybody goes in
Kaufman,
tandem.
Man, he knows his stuff.
That's the cinematographer?
And that's the fucking director,
or the director
I'm talking about. He knows what he's doing on this shit, man.
Yeah, I love the focus just on the feet.
Oh, yeah.
And the marching.
Yeah.
Peppino's Ristorante. I wonder if they're still there.
And now we're down in the sleazy part of town.
Yeah, where you'll find me. That's an interesting shot that they just focused in on the clock. His watch.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy doesn't look like a cab driver. Free admission college co-eds. See, why wouldn't everybody go there? Type H.
Mm-hmm.
That, if you're paying attention and you hear your cab driver refer to you as Type H, regardless of what you think that means, it's weird enough to get the fuck out of the cab right now.
Yeah.
Even though our assumption is it means human.
Most likely.
Interesting, the cab number is 338, which is one's higher than 227. I don't know if that makes a difference. I just noticed weird shit like that. Are we supposed to know those people?
No, just the fact that they're pulling people out of cars, and that seems very suspect. Like the Gestapo or something.
Right. They pulled themselves out of the car. Another great long shot.
Oh, yeah.
Or wide. Where they're minuscule.
Mm-hmm.
So here, watch how they hold on the wide.
Yeah.
And just let them get smaller.
Yeah.
Most people would follow them, you know?
Yeah, do a tracking shot or something.
Oh, that's a pod.
Uh-huh.
Kick the pod. Oh, you made it squirt. Look out. When in doubt, go to work.
Yeah.
I guess that's a safe space, right? You've got a key.
Yeah. You know your way around.
I really hate corduroy. I really... And that tie, man. That tie is bad. It's like a knit sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Turn around, old man. I want to see your tie.
Nice. Got the darts.
Might as well, right? I don't know if I like that mustache on him.
He's typically had a mustache. Sometimes it's a little differently groomed.
I don't love a mustache in general.
Unless it's Burt Reynolds. Tom Selleck?
Yeah, they're iconic for their mustaches, but I still don't know if I like them.
Yeah. This Burt Reynolds without a mustache just looks weird to me.
Yeah.
It's just not quite right. And Tom Selleck won't shave that for any money.
I know. My dad has had a mustache my entire life. And he's a fireman, or was.
Oh, okay. And then
and they're not allowed to have beards, but you can wear a mustache.
Okay.
Yeah, do it. Get in there. Tickle that mustache. I think that means something different. So you're not allowed to have a beard if you're a fireman, but all of them wear a mustache, it seems, seemingly. That's kind of an ominous shot. Just science, you know?
Yeah.
But man, I really hate corduroy. I am down for a sports jacket of some kind.
Sure. A nice wool or something.
Yeah, I mean, give me a loud pattern. The Mayor of Amity.
Oh, yeah.
What are all those people in line for? Oh, God, they're all got pods like they're coming out of the pumpkin patch.
They got the buses coming in to ship them all out. And just the entire idea is so terrifying. Just seeing like, before you even have a clue what's really going on,
it's already
everything's
happened.
It's already overwashed the entire freaking town. It's already completely out of control. What the hell are you supposed to do about it?
Well, she just said, well, we'll never be able to stop him.
Yeah. I don't know what the population of San Francisco is. It's got to be a couple, I don't know, 100,000 people.
Oh, no, it's over 1 million.
I've heard of underestimates of overestimates, so I don't look like too much of an idiot.
Oh.
Oh, there must be 10 million people there. Like, you look like an idiot.
No. I think New York City's like 8 million.
Okay.
Chicago's like 6. So San Francisco's got to be 1.5 or 2.
Sure.
I'll see if I can pull up the current population. Well, I overshot. It's actually only 815,000.
I was right. I was closer. This Price is Right. If you go over, you can't win.
Wait, no. Hold on. Something's wrong.
Now Goldblum and Nimoy are on the same page now. You know it's bad. Spock and Ian Malcolm, they don't get along.
Yeah, I don't... Like, again, to your point, when did he change?
Yeah.
Well, he's changed now, too.
Mm-hmm.
So they're literally just inserting it in them?
Oh, there's probably sedating them.
Still wearing that bowling glove. I like that they've not really told us the end game.
Yeah.
Of what happens after everyone turns.
Yeah. Up until kind of now.
He just covers up her eyes. That's got to be terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, look at this tie. I mean, look, it's so shitty.
Yeah. So you can afford it as a civil servant.
Come on. You can go to a thrift store and get a better tie than that. Oh, yeah. The old bottle over the head trick. Going back to the westerns. Oh, he's got the old...
Stabbed him in the back of the neck.
With a dart. He still had it in his pocket from before. That's a good little callback.
Yeah.
Stick the bodies in the freezer.
Just like the cook.
That's right.
I didn't do it. I don't want to shout.
And just using the body language,
oh, yeah.
You kind of assume that these two are still human at this point.
Right, right. They've just been sedated, so...
They're a little murky.
Yeah.
Somebody screamed.
They're trying to suss each other out.
Interesting on the marble on the bottom half of the...
Mm-hmm.
With the top being so plain, you know what I mean? Like drywall with marble.
Right.
Sleep in shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Little overhead shot,
yeah.
Not straight on. Again, just a little weird.
It just feels a little in your face.
Everyone's got their
imposing.
Their harvest pumpkin pod.
Again, all that backlighting going on.
What if you don't want to get in line? Because isn't the point that all these people that... Wait. If you're already turned, why are you going to get a pod? So you can turn somebody else?
Yeah, so they can continue to distribute it.
I love that there's just a giant truck full of them. They're passing them out like, you know...
melons.
Right, rations at a shelter.
Oh, boy.
What the fuck is that? You just gave yourself away.
Mm-hmm.
And then he punched it. Punched an old lady. Holy shit. Nothing better than punching a grandma. That looks almost sped up, Three Stooges style.
She's running fast in heels, I'll tell you that much. Either way.
She is in heels, isn't she?
Damn
oh my
straight.
God. Well, that's one way to get out of town. Where do you even go or do?
Right.
Or, you know, what's the move? You know, it's not quite like a situation like The Stand where the pathogen or whatever has killed everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and then you can clearly define who the survivors are and what to do.
Yeah.
Because the infected are, you know, masquerading around as all other humans here. So,
yeah.
like, how do you even identify the survivors as they were?
And then even if you can, I mean, what are you supposed to do about it?
And what's to stop them from turning later? And
right. I mean, how long can you keep your guard up?
Look at them just growing pods.
And again, it's the whole thing is like every time they fall asleep, they risk being duplicated. So it's like, I mean, you can't stay up forever.
Yeah, we learned that later on in cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And if you're going to lay down, don't lay down in the grass. Right outside the factory where they're growing them.
Mm-hmm.
You better have sex now while you're both still human. You can enjoy it. Yeah, typical. He's got big hands. I don't think I noticed that before. I love bagpipes.
Yeah.
I also love Amazing Grace. It's literally the only religious song that I like. Get on a ship. Right. And you're going to go where?
Right.
Because if you can get away on a ship, so can
all the pods and everything else. And even then, is who's to say that it only just landed here in San Francisco? How do you know it's not spread across 100 freaking cities across the world?
Right, and as we've learned in real life, how quickly things can go global.
All right.
You know? Granted, things weren't as fast back then.
Right.
But...
Or even just look at wildfires. I mean, the stuff we had, there were the wildfires up in Canada. Spores are airborne. That stuff can waft all over the entire place and land wherever it wants to.
Right. Yeah, we had days here in Chicago.
Orange skies.
Where it was, foggy and orange because of a fire 1,000 miles away. They're loading the pods onto the ship.
I like the fact, okay, the music switches off and goes over to just news radio. There's no hope.
That is kind of the moment when all hope is lost, right?
Yeah, really. Well,
his tie is a square bottom.
I think it's really coming here.
Yeah, she's got the dirty spore face.
Yeah.
She's now gone through this like 3 times.
Jesus criminy.
Yeah, it's really fucked.
She's far along.
It's a very kind of a cool little makeup effect, right? Like it's a flaky. Oh shit! Oh god!
He already knows, and we're seeing oh my god!
Oh, the pinching! Look at the fuck!
Oh my lord! The work on this film is just outstanding.
And she just disintegrates right in front of his hands. And she's got her tits out. I don't know. Maybe sign me up for this too, if it's immortal.
No one's saying it's immortal.
No, they're not.
It's just saying you're going to lose all emotion, all empathy.
Yeah, but maybe I'm a pod.
No more passion. No more love, no more hate.
Well, I've definitely got passion. And love and hate. That's a nice little thing there, running with the truck, under the truck.
Yeah.
That was really a fantastic... That might be my favorite, effect shot.
Yeah.
Of her just disintegrating in his arms.
Yeah.
Nice little grow house here. A lot of these in America now not growing those kinds of pods. But
yeah.
Where's he going? I guess if you're trying to figure out a way to destroy the all of this, maybe, I don't know. I'm a little bit afraid of heights.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like that would be
a little heart pounding for you.
Yeah. I'm not afraid of being up high. It's weird. I can go to the top of whatever building and, without a problem.
Sure.
There's something about the openness.
Sure.
I don't know if you've ever been in one of those hotels that has, an open, a courtyard or something, and you're, way up and you can look down.
I get you.
8 floors over the railing.
Sure.
That makes me...
uneasy.
Yeah. There you go. Just axe down all the lighting. Start a fire. See how gingerly he's being with that axe on the...
Oh, yeah.
And this is what I was saying back in our... Vampires. He was tied to the cross, and he went full-on swing, oh, shit. Careful, dude. You might cut an arm off. The axe is sharp. Let it do its job. You can just kind of gently place it there and it'll cut. What started a fire?
That's
not how,
the lighting rigs, yeah.
A light bulb breaking doesn't... God, that was some of that Rennie Harlan jelly. No, Screaming Mad George Nightmare 4 jelly that... what's her name? Got her face stuck in before she turned into a cockroach.
Brooke.
Yeah, Brooke. Brooke Thies. What a delightful human she was when I met her in person. Oh, God. The jelly. I like that there's just a guy trying to put it out, and she's naked walking through. What a kind of a crazy day on set this must be, right?
Doing the tongue action too.
Yeah, she is. Give it to me.
I got one shot at this. Make it count. These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Yeah, you got it.
You gotta nail it in one shot.
The best part about that scene is everyone giving their interpretation of the line.
Yes.
These pretzels are making me thirsty. Is that Geoffrey there? From the beginning? I feel like he's got to be...
He was in town before. He was back at the friggin' health department.
Wouldn't he be like the head guy in charge of all of it since he was the first one? Maybe not the first one in America, but at least the first one in San Francisco that we know of. It's a very controlled fire in the building. Like, just somebody turn up a gas jet, you know. Looks like a Kiss concert back there.
Gene Simmons is getting all out of control.
That's right.
So he still used to have the hairspray and it's lit his hair on fire.
That happened more than once.
I'm sure it did. Even Michael Jackson.
Nah, I don't want to talk about that.
The Pepsi commercial.
God. That might have been the beginning of the end with the painkillers and such.
Oh, lordy.
That was in 84. He can't stay awake forever is a great line.
Yes.
Oh, Black Bart Saloon. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
With the blonde hair and the mustache.
Stash with the trench coat.
Looks like a tan trench coat was a very popular...
Yeah, accessory.
Like everybody's got one.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's so robotic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth! I love you. Everyone now please go to YouTube and dial up the Together music video with Macho and Liz. It's a great song. Very underappreciated song.
Oh, papaya.
He's got a Dundie Award there. World's Best Boss.
Run a race against time.
Yeah, that's clever.
Nice.
I never know how to pair a blue blazer with
slacks.
with the not blue bottom. I'm very monochromatic in that way. This is probably why I don't have more sport coats, because I don't know how to pair them correctly.
It's all very nice, suggestive stuff. It's like he's right there looking at her the entire time, and we're not really able to infer enough.
I do think that entire scene was a little too giveaway.
A little too giveaway. I'm just thinking
and then it cuts back to him. I was walking around outside
because it's the thing you're thinking of. Well, if you really think about it, if he's not turned, what the hell is he doing showing back up at work for?
Right. And, like, okay, maybe he's trying to pretend to fit in or whatever. But then it cuts back to this, of him walking around outside. And
whatever these trees are, man, it's great imagery. Very alien looking. Oh.
And as it turns out, she lived. She made it. And he didn't.
And I'll tell you, the first time I watched this film, it scared me the fuck so much I didn't watch the film for another 10 years.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It's like, fuck me. It's one of those things that just stuck with me for like a long time. Like the next day, it was like, you're still scared about it.
Yeah. I was at a...
We recorded American Zoetrope. That's Coppola's company.
Is. San Francisco.
That's his joint off the valley. Getting his wine.
His wine is really good.
I'm sure it is, man.
It's actually not that expensive. It's probably only $12 or $14 a bottle.
It's all family.
And
all family all the time.
It's his wine is fantastic. If anybody out there likes red wine, go get your bottle of Coppola. I was at a convention once, and we were just watching the costume contest, and there was a guy walking around in this outfit, and we couldn't quite place it.
Okay.
Because it wasn't perfect, but it was like once we knew, we were like, oh, okay, yeah. And so he gets, you all line up and you go across the stage and get introduced or whatever, and he didn't say his name, he just screeched, and it was fucking perfect. So there's our spire, and there's our plant, and here's
our main menu here.
Here's you trying to decide if either of us are a pod right now. I guess we'll have to wait till next time to find out.
But I think it's a fabulous, brilliant film on so many levels. The cinematography alone, I love the cinematography.
Agreed.
So deeply. So guys, really like to hear what you feel about this film. It's all types of stuff. So guys, thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back around in due time for other great stuff. Bye-bye.
All right, see ya.